And then we've got those that we have here. The financial ratios look very worrying. Especially if you put on some more ratios, can you confirm that this is a going concern if we look at these financial ratios? Then my question is number 3. You had planned operation expenses, which you said it was 14%. And on that, you said there was rent inside. So what it means, the rent was hidden somewhere inside there. Now, considering the issues that were being brought by people area, that we've got a lot of church properties that is not being utilized, and pastors are being rented their houses out. It would be of interest to know what percentage is rent taking from us. And then you also alluded to the fact that unidentified deposits, if I get you correct, they are then distributed at the year end. If I'm correct, my worry is that means money that came in January, sitting in an account for 12 months, being hit by inflation, and then only to be distributed after 12 months. The same goes if you go with the other monies that we are seeing there. There's money for COVID that is just sitting there from last year. That means that money is in Zim dollar, it has been hit by inflation, and is still sitting there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, let me acknowledge the amount of work Elder Gondo and the team has put into producing these statements. All right. Okay, thank you. Because I recognize that it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy task to produce my statements in an environment that requires my area. Now, my question, Andinayo, and I have 2 questions, I think, and then 2 recommendations. Number 1, it looks like as if when we look at the financial ratios, our financial position is not very healthy. Maybe you can guide me. We don't have a good outlook of our conference right at the moment. So maybe the question is, what are we doing? Is it the income that is not coming through, or it is our expenses that are more that are producing these ratios? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, when you were giving a report, you alluded to the unusual offerings in August. Now, I listened very carefully. In the months of May, June, July, and August, right there from 2020, 2021, 2022. Okay. 2021, 2022, I've observed during that same period, my graph said, right around that period. So the question is, what is the unusual offering that are coming through? What activity then brings this unusuality? And can activity then so that we repeat and continue to then do it. We can learn my lessons of that. Okay. So as I just so that actually unusual you offering as you identify it, share with us, and then we may need to adopt it. My efforts say, youth can be what is it that is bringing this jump in income? Then number 3, is there a policy guideline that determines the percentage allocations on how to spend Maria Teta incomes? Like for instance, you said 60% of the 60%. Oh, okay. Plus interruptions. Okay, all right. Allocation, policy allocation, all right. Percentage allocation. And last but not least, a CMS, a system which you implement the Takaita Zaganake or not Zaganake. Do you want to expose a parallel until it is running efficiently? Thank you.
Maita, new chair. Nema delegates. Situation yet nayo ndrukuda kunangana ne audit report panapa is very worrying in the sense yekuti dai kwanga kuri ku private sector topiwa report yakaita sei yatapiwa nasi ku company iri listed on the stock exchange ma investors who pull out mari dzavo mu company iyoyo ndizvo zvoka. Saka allow me kuti ndimhanye pa disclaimer opinion. Panapa zviri kunzizvo management inova timu yatakati tungamirire panapa yakatendera kuti muorganization medu mupoye zvimwe zvinhu zvisina masupporting documents. Topa munhu mari kuti inda kwa TM undotenga chakati auine receipt. Ndo zviri kutaurwa panapa. Ani muri kuona? Saka nyaya haina kumira kwazvo. Tiri kuti izvo kumanagement ongororai nyaya iyi zvakanaka because yakaitika during your tenure ende inorovesa nehana. That's number one. Then number two, mamboda henyu kusanitizer the other aspects panapa dzakakonzera kuti auditor azoita azopa adverse opinion. But certainly ndandiri kutarisa profile yevanhu vari kufinance department resangano redu ndikaona kuti pamwe pacho pane vane ma-BAc vamwe vane ma-masters in accounting. How then does it happen kuti we allow that to escape Tiripo? And we've got a system of checks and balances. How then do we allow that to happen? Takatarisa. Thank you.
Toda kutenda. Ndida kurezawo issue yambotaurwa concerning the adverse report yaiswa. So my question is it a lack of professionalism, especially on the part of the CFO, or else the finance that try to get away from principle so that they can present it to us in a way that we can understand, but wachita deviate from the accounting standards vanofana kunge vachifollowa. The other point ndoyabva kundotaurwa, but ndanga ndichida kuipedza nequestion kuti can't it be detrimental zvikuru sei to financial security kuti an auditor anototaura kuti takaisa a disclaimer because there was a lack of supporting documents. Saka ipapo dati muzotibatsirawo. Then on another issue, ndaona pane two monsters ari kutaurwa nezvawo, exchange rate ne-inflation, kuchinzi ndo maybe zviri kukonzeresa kuti ma-accounting, ma-financial accounts edu asamire zvakanaka. Is it merely an issue of inflation iri kuita kuti mari dzedu dzizowanikwa dzichita ma-increase, or rather there can be some issues of an increase in faithfulness on the part of the church members, but because of maybe something that might be gray, especially in terms of failure to provide some documents, then we might try and find a scapegoat to say all these other issues are now attributed to the issues of inflation and exchange rate. Thank you.
Thank you. My question is on the accounts receivables, which I believe is the monies that are owed to the church by either entities, individuals, or any organizations. This amount, I think is for 2023, amounts to 1.7 billion, which is about 200 and something thousand US dollars if we use the 7,000. So my question is, these monies which are owed to the church, what are the chances that the church will actually recover these monies? What is the risk there? My second question there is it not that these monies that are owed to the church affect the liquidity and renders the church or the entity not viable or as a going concern? Thank you.
Tinoda kutenda, Mr. Chair. Page 58, under trust funds, USD gross tithes and offerings received. I don't know, may you please justify for us, is it a typing error or maybe is something wrong. From the slides that I'm on up, per total gross tithes and offerings, per book pane 3,301,875, but per mangamchi slide up, pabda 3,301,077. Dofunga, can you please justify that area? Secondly, Pama identified the deposits. Unfortunately, pass to a point of order. Ndona sauti kudai nimabda kuzonotsanangura mberi kana kuti zvanga zvatopera. Tikaenda ku page, I'm sure. Page 18. Ndaona sokuti papa toranyadze ma-identified deposits against my inflows and my tithes and my offerings. But can you please justify as well to this house kuti amuna kuzotipa whether marino zoshanda as a supplementary budget here? I understand kuti patinenge chitoita ma-programs atinenge chitoa main budget atinenge tinayo because ndazona pachiflasha ma-salaries pakamboboda mifananidzo yedzimba. Saka tachida kungokumbirawo kuziva kuti for example pana January pachi pana opening balance 61,000 whatever, the closing balance up to September is 190,000 plus. Saka maybe can you just help us as lay people with the marriage?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's time for responses.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me respond.
Point of order.
Regai nditaure mururimi rwamai. Ndabvunza ini pamusoro pemombe dzekumauya. Tikanzi dziri pamanani current assets. Let's turn
Okay, that's out of order. We are responding to people that just who come to that. We are responding to the people that submitted their questions now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. Let me respond to the questions from the last one going up. There was an issue of 875 and 877. That should be a typo. The figure is 877. That's the correct figure. If you go to your books, the appendices on page, let me be quick to go there. If you go to page 21 of your appendices, you see the figure at the end, 3,301,876.65. If we round it off, it's 877. Then the second issue to do with accounts receivables. These accounts receivables, Mr. Chairman, they are not yet deemed to be not recoverable. If they were not recoverable, you would have seen on page 1, we would have put a provision to determine the level of uncollectible. Most of these are with our entities and our employees, so they can easily be collected. Then I think there is a question that continued coming, whether the adverse opinions were as a lack of professionalism or negligence. It's neither of the two. We are well aware of these, but we are tied. We cannot do anything. That's why I said we are working on modalities to do this. If you are an accountant and you read reports of listed companies, you will agree with me that even companies in the corporate world are getting the same opinions because of our environment. So this is not a situation that is unique to North Zimbabwe Conference or to the Adventist Church. It is a situation that is for all entities in Zimbabwe. Then I think that there was an issue of the disclaimer in 2020 and the issue of insufficient balance evidence. Let me explain. When the auditor is saying insufficient supporting documents, he is not saying we couldn't get supporting documents to expenditure. But he is saying our balances for the year 2019 and 2020, they were not supported because the previous years had not been audited. So that enters materially into the years 2019 and 2020. It has nothing to do with supporting documents for expenditure. Then there was an issue of ACMS. ACMS, I'm sure we agree, it is still a process. We want to thank the delegates and the churches for the cooperation that we got in implementing the ACMS treasury. What we continue appealing to as finance team is that we fully embrace this technology because it is going to address even the issue of unidentified deposits that we were talking about. Then there was a question of unusual tithe items. Mr. Chairman, when we say unusual tithe items, we are saying at a certain point in time, 3, 4, 1, 6 members, they decide to give to the church amounts that are not usual according to the giving trends of the organization. You go back to the years 2022 and 2023, it is just coincidence that the figures for July, August, that period, were a bit up. This is usually because when people are about to go to camp meetings, I think spirituality increases a bit and the giving also increases a bit. But for the year 2023, if you noticed, it is a very unusual. It is not speaking to any of the years because we had unusual tithe items. Then there was an issue to say our ratios are indicating that our position is not healthy. Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee Chair alluded to the fact that if members' faithfulness could rise, he actually spoke of 40%. I would actually say if it would rise to 30%, our outlook would change. But as it is, with the same trajectory, Mr. Chairman, our situation remains dire. If you go to the page that is our cash flows, that's page 17, you realize, Mr. Chairman, that actually for the year 2023, our inflows were actually less than our outflows. Had we not had outstanding balances from 2022, it means we were supposed to cut some items. Then unidentified deposits allocation, they are not only allocated in December. It is an ongoing process. However, for December, why it becomes significant is because we cannot carry over income from 2022 into 2023 or income from 2023 into 2024. So when we get to December, we have to make sure that whatever remains unidentified at the year end is allocated. Then rent house, it is said that rent house are hidden in plant operation. They are not hidden. That's the class of expenditure that they fall under. And of the 11%, a significant amount, I would actually say about 60 to 70% is actually rent house. Then I think I've alluded to the issue of financial ratios. Then let me come to the issue of Chinoi multicultural. Let me apologize. I think that one is actually a typo. That figure, Chinoi multicultural, was closed and it is now incorporated in the other district, Rakanzi English speaking. So those figures, I think as we were preparing the reports, we sincerely apologize to Chinoi multicultural. My reports are annual monthly. I think Pastor Khan is actually doing all he can to make sure Kuti they come. I think, Mr. Chairman, I have addressed all the questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me give you now the platform to clarify your question, and then a response will be given, after which then we vote.
Thank you, Chair. First question yangu ndabvunza kuti mombe dzakatengeswa kumauya dzakaripotwa papi, handisati ndaona mhinduro. Secondly, ndabvunza kuti dzaripotwa papi mombe dziriko zvikanzi dziri pama non-current assets. I am financially literate. I'm coming from the accounting field. And pa page 1. Tokumbira tiende pa page 1. Pa page 1, anonzi ma non-current assets ndo atinoti zvekare ma fixed assets. But these are biological assets. But tikaenda pakanzi fixed assets up, tikaenda pa note 8, totena kuenda ku note 8 pa page 10. Hapana pari kuratidza kuti pane ma biological assets. Tokumbira kubatsirwa ipapo. Mubvunzo wangu uri very valid. Unondibatsira pakuita decision pakuzovota. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. First, let me say, when the cows come, they are recorded as tithe income. So their revenue has already been recorded as tithe income. For the period, the cows in Mawuya, some of them date back to 2013, 2014. So they were already recorded as revenue. The sale of the cattle is recorded in our cash inflows. Then the question that the delegate is asking to say, I don't see biological assets. If you go to page 10, are we there? When you get to page 10, note 8, land, buildings, and equipment. Second, on the top item where it's written balances current year. there is an item that is written other fixed assets. That's the amount of the biological assets at Mauya. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm giving you this last time to clarify your question, and then we move on.
Thank you. I think going forward, we need to separate these things. Because they have material effect. I think should be separate going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. As we prepare our accounts, we are guided by international accounting standards, and they require that these be in the section that they are. So if the delegate is then asking us to violate international accounting standards, it goes back to the issue of audit reports that we have been presenting, and this one will be willful violation of accounting standards. So they are correctly classified under planned assets, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for all the submissions that were made. I think they've helped us to reach this far. Allow us to reach a point of voting now. All those that are saying, let's accept the presented financial report as it were, may we show our yes cards. All those that are saying, let's accept the motion of accepting the presented financial report. Okay, let's put our cards down. All those that are opposing to the presented financial report, may we also raise our no cards? Okay, it's carried. Thank you very much. So we want to thank God that we have reached this far. Let me return this mic to Pastor Aparangeta for further issues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. All those who are saying it's now time to go to sleep. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I will invite Pastor Amsa Demba, and we really, Tinokutendai, my fellow delegates, we've stepped into the far night. We really salute your patience and your dedication. Let us give ourselves a big amen. Thank you so much for being business-minded, for being mission-oriented. Chakumbira pane vari kuya kuzonamata kutimu ye-prayer band, vari kuya kutipa the prayer. Vakumbirwa kuzonamata. Nekuda kwenguva hatichaimbi, takungomirira kunamatirwa topuhwa ma-announcements ekuonekana tondovata, totaurwa nguva dzokusangana mangwana. Okay. Mai Mvumbi, Cecilia Mvumbi. Sikai kuno mutina matire, dear sister. Okay, that's our retiree. Vapedza kutina matira Pastor Msademba wachatipa ma brief announcements. Thereafter, we are ready to go and sleep. God bless you. Thank you.
Matei, Baba wedu muri kumusoro kudenga. Toda kutendai nokuti muri kunotida. Uye toda kutendai kuti muri pakati pedu. Uye toda kutendai kuti munotitungamirira apo patinenge takanganisa. Mwari munotiswatudzira ma problems atinosangana nawo. Toda kutendai nema challenges atinosangana nawo mukuita basa renyu. Ivaiwo nesu mutitungamirire musangano wedu upere zvakanaka. Ndimi mutungamiri mubatsiri uri pedyo pedyo panguva dzekumanikidzika. Asi Jehovha tinongokumbira kuti mutizadze nemwoyo wenyu mutsvene, tigoziya kufunga zvakanaka. Mwari tibatsirei kusvika basa richipera. Muzita raJesu tonamata. Amen.
Toda kutenda Mrs. Mvumbi nemunamato wetapuwa. Inipana handichatori a minute, but I just want to remind the House that we are supposed to be here by 7 o'clock, because by 7:15 we'll be receiving our opening prayer. Therefore, I'm asking those with our tags, our little gadgets, that you be by the doors long before we come in, so that we don't have this inconvenience of coming inside, go back, come again. That will take us our time. Then, pane weku Jerusalem hostel, ndanzwa kuti kuna mwasina pekugara, ndokumbira kuti mutange maona mai Gondo. Mrs. Gondo, are you inside? There she is by the extreme right. Saka wane shortage pekurara, endai munona Mrs. Gondo tisarita enda. We want to wish you a very restful night, and thank you very much for being so kind and helpful. God bless you.
two. Another mic. Another mic. 1, 2. 1, 2. One, two. 1, 2.
Dr. Parangeta, Dr. Jairo, and
I hope it's not in the all night.
I'm just briefly. Yeah, authorization. Chatungoda is for you to give us your experience, you know, and times what President's report. What's your summary view on that? Secretary's view. What's your Uda Secretary? Treasurer and then give me again. President, Treasurer. Yeah, the top chat here. Okay. Top 3. Right, it's fine. And it turns out all views, my issues, yes, yes. What's your take on that? Are you getting the point?
I even need a treasurer, I'm versatile.
Yeah.
So who will start? I mean to say with the mic.
No glitter on
the mic, I mean to say with the start.
Oh, the mic. Ingo one.
Unless we are using the codes.
Right. And then you can.
Testing.
Thank you very much.
Got the signal. Russell?
And how, you know, this boy is intelligent. Oh,
all right. Good evening, viewers, and we'd like to thank you so much for being with us throughout the day. And we are here in Mazoe having our North Zimbabwe Conference 3rd constituency meeting, and we've had a long day with the programs that we have had. And for sure, you have seen how when the day was called to duty with the President, Dr. Jairo. We had some processions that we had where we got to adopt the bylaws and the constitution of the NZC. Also, in moving with technology, we also introduced our e-voting, the little devices that we have chosen to adopt as a conference that we'll be using for our day-to-day reports. Here I'm joined with delegates from all over our North Zimbabwe Conference territory who are here to just give us a brief comment of how the day transpired and what happened. So we'll start with you. Maybe you can introduce yourself to the viewers and give them a report that interested you the most, or to comment just a few words.
Thank you very much. My name is Shami Moyo. I'm a delegate at large from the conference. I'm also an elder in Glenlawn SDA Church. I would like to say, in terms of the reports, generally, very impressive. I like the fact that we are moving with the times. We are now using visuals in our reporting, whereas when you talk about just written reports, people have no insight in terms of the activities or what transpired, but the way we have moved in our reporting, where we are using visuals and videos, we can actually see when we say, this is what happened, it's evidence-based. You actually shown the activities that took place. So this one is to speak overall in terms of the reporting, the approach that we are taking. I think is very commendable. I've been impressed here in Mazo with the innovation that has gone towards reporting and feeding back to the delegates. I believe most delegates would have really seen and gotten the insights that are there. But let me also talk about specifically the President's report. Again, I really would like to commend the work that has been done. You can see in terms of reporting, the pillars are well itemized, and the activities and progress that has been done throughout the period, especially given the fact that the first year was actually swallowed up by COVID, but you can really see the progress. And I was also impressed in terms of the ability to articulate what is still to be done. To me, when you have a team that says we have done so much, we have achieved so much, and you ask them, I know Pastor Ngwaro asked, I know you didn't have enough time. What else do you think you would want done? The President was very clear. He was able to articulate the extra work that still has to be done, which means if there's more time, whether it's him coming back to do the work or the new team that comes on to take over, it is clear. And obviously we will add during the plans and resolutions in terms of the further direction, but those things that were really supposed to be covered were articulated well. I was really impressed, and I just pray that the Lord will continue to help us. Why I'm so happy with this, I'm a technology person myself. I'm an ICT practitioner. The way we have embraced ACMS, change is not easy, but you can tell that during this session, during this period, ACMS was adopted and has been utilized. I really look forward to more work, particularly in the treasury area, where we are talking about integrating with the banks. We really have to have go paperless. As a conference, I think paperless should be our target. I thank you and I submit.
Thank you very much for that feedback. Let's all end with our good lady here, but let's go to my friend here, Elder Elijah Manua. When we look at the Treasury report, it would appear like everybody was waiting for that particular report, considering the number of accounting gurus and auditors and everybody who came forward to kind of respond to his report. What could be your view of that report, the reaction from the floor, and how did the CFO respond? What's your take on that?
Thank you very much. The report of the treasurer, yes, was of particular interest. And it's good that it came in the night as the last item. Otherwise, it could have consumed time for the other reports if it had come earlier on in the day. But reflecting on it, it shows that the church is not isolated from the common industry that is suffering the consequences of the economy in Zimbabwe. People continue to bring in their tithe, but there is this beast called hyperinflation, and the exchange rate, which is very volatile. So when we come to the reporting of it, You know it changes every week when there's an auction of the forex. An accountant would have to follow his incomes every week changing. It becomes impracticable. So it might seem that the church is at a loss, yet is the figures factored in to show that inflation is eating it up. But the church members, I liked one particular thing. When the offerings exceeded the amount of tithes, it's rare in our church, it's rare. Yet in reality, it should be the case because it's offering, it's not fixed. You give it according to how you love your Lord. So if this trend is repeated more often, it will reflect on the spirituality of the church members. Questions were asked, and they were rightfully and correctly responded to. I think at the end of the day, people went to retire for the night satisfied that the treasury is having its thumb on the pulse of the organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to thank you so much. I think to wrap up all these reports that we have had today, maybe you can just a little bit tell us about how the Secretariat report made you feel during the course of the day, because you understand that the Secretariat report holds the church itself. It is the base of the church. How did you feel with Dr. Parangata's report?
Thank you. Anyway, I'll have to introduce myself. My name is Mola Vela Pinari, and I'm a member of Mabron Multicultural Church. I really appreciate when people use technology. We are in the technology era, and I was impressed by Dr. Parangeta's reports. Using technology, I didn't expect it to be what it was when he presented, but I was so impressed. It shows that being a Christian or being an Adventist, it doesn't mean to say you have to be backward. You have to move with the world at the pace of which the world is moving. I am grateful to my church for choosing me to come. I have learned a lot, and I hope through what Dr. Parangeta said in his report, we'll go back and implement some of the things as a church. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, lady and gentlemen. And thank you, viewers, for being with us the whole day. This brings us to the end of our live stream today. We hope to be with you again tomorrow. Please tune in. There's a lot happening tomorrow. God bless you and good night to you all. Thank you.
And also remember to go and like and share the page for tomorrow's update, because we are coming again live early in the morning. So do come, tell your friends that we are here. Go to our NZC media page, go to Bluffview media page, go like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope that God will bless you. Today we got an opportunity to meet more than 600 delegates who are here, also rubbing shoulders with the elderly pastors, the retirees, and all other pastors from the walks of North Zimbabwe Conference. I hope tomorrow is another great day. I hope God will lead you. And tomorrow, yet this is a program for everyone. Come, join, and let us be part of it. Hashtag I will go. Hashtag NZC 3rd Constituency Meeting. Good night. Stay blessed.
Like and share. Thank you.